Has the We controversy affected your trust in the federal government?
You know, mistake has happened, and the We probably in the beginning was a very good idea. Didn't turn out the way it's supposed to, but I think it's in my vote will not be any effect on it.
I look back and Trudeau, like with this We whole scandal and whatever, it's going to come out. And does it surprise me? No. All politicians, they all, they all have something, right? And time will tell. And if he did something wrong, he's got to be held accountable for it.
The federal government, when they agreed to this huge grant program, they waded in, I think naively, into an operation that really wasn't operating as a charity. It was operating as a PR firm with lots of lobbying connections.
I have an opinion about government. Governments are all people who, although do their best at being honest and true to the country, sometimes have to do things that are not kosher, I guess it is. I don't know how else to put it. No, I don't think it's a big deal for me, this We thing. If he's found responsible and something went down that was dishonest, then Trudeau should pay for it.
There seems to be a judgment problem in PMO, to me. And I think the We thing is just another example of the same thing, that somebody didn't go, hello, maybe we should take a second look at this. And that seems to me to be a pattern. And, go back to the India trip and that fiasco. There seems to be, a sort of judgment screw loose in the Trudeau government.
I think they're making a bigger deal out of it than it has to be. And we got more pressing problems right now.
So the We controversy, to me, it was just another example of friends helping friends. We don't know the half. We'll never know the half because everybody's in somebody's boat.
I generally probably wouldn't vote for the Liberals anyway. I'm more of an NDP myself. But if it came down to me voting for the Liberals, I would absolutely keep that in mind, that happened and it would influence my decision to vote for them.
Every government at some degree has some kind of scandal, whether it's big or small. It hasn't affected my faith in the government. Justin Trudeau's government, for example, I lost my job temporarily, and his government formed, say, the CERB, for example, and that was really important. I think he's helped the people out. So the We scandal to me is totally irrelevant. It hasn't affected how I feel about them at all.
People might say, oh, you're pushing your own agenda kind of thing, but if you got the means to get your name out there, then get your name out there, If they're using federal money to market themselves, that's a different story.
I feel like that money could have been allocated somewhere else. It's the We Foundation, right? Oh yeah, I'm actually familiar with We Foundation. I've been to a few We days, Yeah, that shouldn't have happened, and that shouldn't be happening.
I think the We controversy has not been well handled by the federal government. The amount of redaction, the filibustering in committee, the pressure to not include certain information about the Prime Minister and his family. Just come clean with everything. That's what the committees are being stifled. That's my main concern about this issue, is the committee work which is the breadth and depth of how governments react to legislation is not happening.
Yeah, I think it has. It just seems to be, at times, it's not the first scandal, if you want to call it that this government has been involved in. So, how many times do you say, oh, well, we've forgiven them, or water under the bridge or whatever? So, yes, I think it has.
The We controversy has not affected my trust in the government, but I think that the government has to be more vigilant in considering how the public may react to sole sourcing of large contracts.
No, I don't think so. I think the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, I think the people that were around them should have been watching out a little bit more carefully about that stuff. These guys aren't obviously in office for the money. Everyone involved in that is definitely a privileged Canadian, and I think missing $40,000 in expenses in the run of a month or a year or what that means to them, it's just an oversight. I don't think they were out to scam anyone. I think the people that were they're watching them and, advising them didn't do a very good job. Doesn't affect how I trust these guys. I'm not a huge Justin Trudeau fan to begin with, but I don't blame him specifically for that. I don't blame Bill Moreau for that either.
It's certainly made me question a lot of things. Just the way the whole thing has developed and the apparent lack of transparency, I do believe is something that's going to shake a lot of people's faith in the government.